Yo, I did it. I did it. I got a cane. It is so helpful, man. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I figured it out. I don't know why it took me so long to do this. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys how this works. Like, I got this online, and I don't know. It helps so much. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see this? What? Like, look at this. I got this here yesterday, and as soon as it arrived, and I was just like, let me just try it out, see how it works. It was like so immediately helpful in terms of just the confidence it gives me walking around. And like as soon as Shan saw that, she said that she started crying. I couldn't see her crying, but that she was so happy um, that like that I got it. And I'm happy too. Like it's only been a few hours, and it's been like my security blanket here. Um, like I carry it everywhere with me, and yeah, and I have cane training tomorrow, and like I don't know, the cane is like one of those things I guess in the vision loss spectrum situation life that we have, where it's really difficult mentally to just kind of accept it and go for it. And that's true for me too. Like like I mean I'm doing this treatment and now is when I decided to get a cane. Like can you imagine? I've like I've needed a cane for a long time. But for some reason like I just didn't. And like I don't know, like there were a lot of things happening in my head about the cane. Like for instance, one of the things I had, just going back to just doing things, one of the things I had mentally in my head was a mental block where I was like, surely you can't just get a cane. Like there has to be like a government entity or something that, watches these. Like I have to get permission from somebody, I have to get permission from somebody and I have to get training from somebody and, all these things just creating all of these obstacles in my head. And like, 2 or 3 days ago, I was just like, yo, fuck it. I'll just get a cane, see what happens. Like, because worst case scenario, these treatments don't go well, and like at least I'll have one and I'll figure it out. And sure enough, I went to the Thunderhead Gemini and just asked it. I was like, "Yo, what would be the best cane for me?" It asked me at my height. I'm 5'9", and then it said probably a 54-inch cane, and you can get this one from Amazon. There's a no jab cane. Sure enough, I went on Amazon. It was there on Prime. It was like $100 with a lot of good reviews. And some of the people were like suggesting different tips, things like that. And I was like, yeah, let's try it out. And I ordered it, and I also called. I also called like the local center. I talked to Gemini. I was like, "Hey, I'm in Erie. I'm leaving Erie on March 1st. I would like to at least get some, sort of cane training just to know what I'm doing." And it was like, "Well, look at this, local center that will probably help you. Here's the number." So I called them and just explained everything, and they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we have somebody. She's not fully certified or anything. Like, the fully certified R&M training people, they have a wait list, but she has been using a cane for 20 years and would be willing to teach you how to do it." And I was like, "Cool." And she's like, "Yeah, let me see if I can schedule some time, for you on Friday." I'm like, "Cool, we can figure it out." So so I scheduled that. And after I scheduled that, the cane arrived, and I was like, "Hey, let me just pull it out and see what happens." And you know what? Like, I I don't know why I overcomplicated this in my head. Like, sure, there's like training you have to do, but I have been like when I'm walking around and navigating, I have been like doing things, and this is what Shan was saying. This is what my wife was saying. Like I've already been doing a lot of things the cane would be helping me with. Like I'd be walking around and then I'd kick forward, just to figure out whether there's a curb there, or I'd like be hesitant and like be reaching out just to make sure I don't hit anything, with my body, but I hit it with my hand first. Like all of those things. The cane just lets me do that. Like I've already been doing that, but it just lets me do that, and it like communicates it so well. So as soon as I picked it up and I started just kind of doing that, I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing? Like I could have just ordered this. I genuinely could have just ordered this. Um, you know, so I'm really happy about that. Like I've been walking around the house. I've been so happy. I've been like, regaining my independence, things like that. And I haven't even like gotten any, sort of training. I haven't like looked up on YouTube, how to do this really. I just kind of like, I just kind of been doing this. Like, let me show you. I just kind of been like, yeah, and when I do that, I'm like, oh, that's ground. And when I do that, I'm like, oh, that's carpet. And it feels like I can feel it, And like when I hit it, I know where things are. And like because I'm like getting to know how long it is, I can do things like that, that let me know how to move like closer and further to like the door or things like that. So, man, I did it. I got it. Yeah. Yeah. So I just wanted to just kind of work through this. It's kind of funny, right? Like I got it yesterday, and then my siblings called me, and I was talking to them, and I was like, cheering. I was like, I got it, and they were very confused because a lot of people are confused, about like the treatment, So they're very confused. They're like, I thought you were going the opposite way. Like I thought you were getting better. Why do you have a cane? And that's the irony about this treatment is you will get worse before you get better. It is not a, snap, you got your vision back. Nothing like that exists in life. Like even if you were going to get an eye transplant, you will have a time period where your body needs to readjust to it. So this treatment is like teaching my body how to protect my cells. My body has to learn how to protect my cells and then regrow them. That takes time. It takes time. Um, and, like it's already hard enough for me, to sit here and be like, I can't see, But it's funny when all of my sighted friends are coming to me and being like, can you see better? Huh? Did it happen? I'm like, listen, man, I'm not there yet. But, so that's been a little hard. Um, but it's okay. Like, we're used to dealing with things like this. But I'm really happy about this. Like, it feels so good. Like, when I'm, like, rolling it around, I can feel the texture, of things. Like, these are things that, especially when I was sighted, and, these are things that you take for granted. Like, just being able to see the texture. Like, I can't see the texture of this carpet. But now with this cane, I can feel it. And it helps me like feel so connected to the world in a way that I didn't think was possible. Like I like there's so many other little things. Like here, let me show you something else. Like there's so many other little things. Like when I do this, it's not there. Hold on. Yeah. Let me see. When I do this, there's like a lip there, at the door that I didn't know was there. like I would have just tripped over that usually. And like the cane helps me see that. Like it gives so much information that I didn't even think like it would, even without the training, And I guess now that I can like see less, and now that I'm like trying to be a little more open and things like that, it's like it's also I'm less afraid of what people think of me when I have this. I also like look, it's cool. Like I was asking Shan, I was like, what do I look like? Like, do I look like just some blind guy? Things like that. I'm a little vain, maybe. But I care. People care about what things look like. Like I wear hearing aids that like for most of high school. I conveniently lost my hearing aids just because people were making fun of me because of how it looked. And I had like those old style hearing aids with the big ear moles, and they try to match the skin color, but I'm black. And that was not black. It was not the right color. So it was just like this old hearing aid, and I'm in high school. I'm in high school going through puberty. So of course I lost it. So for 3 years in high school, I just went through high school, no hearing aids, because like it doesn't look cool. you know? But then, after like that matters. And after I finally, got hearing aids again, like around senior year of high school, I decided to get some that looked cool to me. They were black, and they were tiny, and they were cool, and they were like, they were the resound dots, and I felt like I was wearing like a cool piece of tech, not like a medical device thing. So these things are important, so, and that's also part of why sometimes like when people are like, get a cane, I'm like really kind of afraid, because I'm like, man, you want to have a certain view of yourself, like in the world, right? You want to think you're the cool guy, right? Like you do, you have a certain view of yourself, like when you're walking, across, I don't know, across the city streets, like you want to feel like you're I don't know, the main character of a movie in the soundtrack. Like I don't know, maybe that's just me. Maybe a lot of other people are a lot more humble than me in that way. Like I don't know, but so that's also part of why like it's hard to envision that I can take this cane out in public and not be judged or anything like that. But now I'm like, fuck it. Like, this helps so much. And on top of that, I can figure out how to make it look good. Like, I can't see what I look like with it, but I'm sure when I watch it back, I will. And I'll make it part of my ensemble, like, and that's what Shan was making fun of me for. She was like, it kind of just looks like a stick. I can just kind of hang out with this, Yeah, I feel like people think I'm fake. People always think I'm faking, my disabilities and stuff, just because, you know, I don't know. I don't know why they think that way. But I'm happy about this. This has made me really freaking happy. And I can't wait for the training that I'm getting tomorrow, just to know how to use it a lot better. And and I feel like it's putting me in a place that, helps me feel ready for the world. Um, and it's like, it's only been a few hours. Like, I got it almost exactly 24 hours ago. And it's such a security blanket to me right now. Um, so yeah, so yesterday I had a little bit of a scare, and it was not great. I think I'm doing better now, um, but I think because because I'm starting to feel a little better, like a lot better, in terms of my eyesight and in terms of things like that, and in terms of the independence that I have, and also I got the cane. I started like running around a lot more. I was like really happy, really hyped. And I was calling people, and when I was calling people, I was like yelling around, and doing all those things. The video I'm working on, I'm really happy about. So I like would be on the computer for like 4 or 5 hours just like editing, and I'm just like really happy with the work I'm doing there. So it was just consistent work. And then like around, I want to say, maybe 6 p.m. Having dinner, and it was a very celebratory mood. So Shan had ordered some steak, for us. So now I'm sitting there and I'm chewing on the steak, and I'm chewing like, just really hard. And then like at some point, I don't know, something changed in my, in my eyesight, um, and it felt like I had strained something in the eye, and I like couldn't see, you know, um, and so I just kind of stopped chewing, and uh, like put my head down a little bit, and then I opened my eyes again. And I was like, oh no, that is worse. And then I like went I like left the table, just left the table and like went to the bed. But before I did, grabbed my cane and told my wife. I was like, my wife was like busy listening to something, and I'm like, hey Shan, like something has just happened to my eyesight, and I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go like rest. And like I could feel like something on my temple, um, and kudos to Shan, my lovely wife, gets up immediately and just like, okay, I'll bring you some ibuprofen immediately. You go lay down. So I went. I lay down in bed. Shan comes with like, two ibuprofen, gives me some water, and I basically just lay down. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like I hope I haven't like popped a bubble or something. Um, and like I hope that cause like the thing with the surgery, one of the dangers is retinal detachment, and they tell you not to do any strenuous activities. Um, and it's been 2, 3 weeks. I'm human. I forget, I forget that I'm healing. You have a life, so you like continue, doing things like when you start adjusting and stuff. Um, so that was a little scary. I didn't know, what was happening and stuff. And, I've been talking to the doctors a lot. And, I'd call them sometimes and be like, when should I be concerned? And they're essentially just like, look, for 2 months, your vision will not be what you expect. But, if your vision goes away and does not come back, like if it goes away and it's fully black and it just doesn't come back, that's when you should be concerned. If it hurts, that's when you should be concerned. So the ibuprofen helped, and then laying down for a while helped. Because I had been up since 6 a.m. that morning, working, talking to people, doing all of those things. And it was 6 p.m. and Shannon was just like, maybe you're just tired. And it was a very emotional day. Like we went through a whole gamut of emotions, even anger and frustration, whole gamut of emotions all day. And, we're both very expressive people, so like even now, you see I'm like doing all of this. Like they tell you not to be strenuous. I don't know how to do that. Not in that. I can't just lay down. Um, so of course, like I think also, I've been the same way. You see, both of my eyes are open. Like I'm using both of my eyes, you know. So I'd been using both of my eyes all day. So I think what happened is I just got tired. Um, and so I laid down and I basically just like listened to like comedy shows and stuff and tried not to laugh. Which, why would I do that? um, but but yeah, so like, and then I just did that and tried to go to sleep and things like that. Um, but I was a little worried and a little concerned. But the vision seems it came back, you know. Um, so I'm trying not to stress about it too much. I do still have like some pressure in my temple, And I'm trying to like be mindful and be careful about it. Um, but I'm trying to also observe my vision, and it looks like most of my field of vision is back in that eye. Like I don't see the darkness around it as much, but it's a lot blurrier. Like it's not clear at all. Like it's very blurry. And I think this is what the doctors were saying, that my vision is going to be blurry for a while. So I'm trying to like relax and do that. So I think like maybe later on today, I'll again, just out of an abundance of caution, call the doctor again and be like, should I be concerned? You know, um, and I hope not, because my next surgery is in a week. And like last time I talked to her, they say, well, look at your eye and make sure that it's okay. And this is also part of why they do it separately, is if your one eye doesn't respond well, something doesn't happen, well with surgery, or, like everybody's body is different, and then you can just bail out. So I'm also trying to like remind myself of that. Like, don't try to force anything. Um, and I really want this to work. I want this to work for all of us. Um, but I also don't want my eyeball to fall out. Like, I don't want to be great. Um, and I did come here prepared for the worst and hoping for the best. Because I'm already blind, right? Like I'm already legally blind. And I was already getting worse. So it's not like all that's happened is I've compressed my timeline by a few months. So this was a worthy shot for me. Because I have a philosophy in life right now that I've been following um, pretty religiously. And that philosophy is to increase your opportunities to be lucky. I always try to remind myself of that. Um, and maybe it's a little nerdy of me, because I watch like PBS Space Time and things like that, and like quantum, the quantum universe and things like that. But like everything in the universe is based on probabilities, right? Like there's a high probability of something happening, a high probability of something not happening. So if you increase your probabilities of things happening, like the probability of that thing happening will increase. So this was also part of the reason why I was doing this. I'm like, the probability of me getting healed is a lot higher if I come to a treatment like this than if I don't. Like if I just sat at home, the probability of me going a lot blinder without anything happening would be this, like like without anything happening, would be higher if I just sat at home and did nothing. um so my philosophy has kind of been that, where it's like increase your opportunities to be lucky. It's why I'm doing things like this, where I'm like, create a YouTube channel. Maybe you'll be lucky. Maybe it will cover the rent that you need later. Why not? Opportunity to be lucky. Like this isn't my only thing in life, right? Like I have a professional engineering license that actually I need to renew this year. That's part of the things on my list. So that's another thing where I'm like, yeah, I've got to renew my professional engineering license. Maybe I can do consulting. Increase your opportunities to be lucky. I'm getting my PMP certification within the next few months. Maybe that will help me get a project management job while I'm blind. Increase your opportunities to be lucky. Increase your opportunities to be lucky. That is, so that's where I'm at. Like get a cane. Maybe you'll luck out, and like that, and that will help you maintain independence. And you know what? I did luck out a little bit, where I'm like, actually, this helps a lot. Um, so yeah. So I don't know. I'm trying to remind myself of that, when I'm kind of going through this, and especially after the scare yesterday, I was like, oh fuck, have I Have I messed up? Like, is it the treatment? Is it me? Am I having retinal detachment right now? Can I not see now? And what does that mean for me? Um, and I don't know. I'm trying to remind myself that there are options, and that it's okay, and that I'm near the clinic, and that I can call them, and that I'm not feeling pain, and that my vision is still here, and that I need to just, I don't know, just be calm and kind of let things happen. Um, I think I had, again, forgotten myself a little bit, and we tend to do this in RP, because we used to be sighted, and we try to continue doing things sighted, the sighted way. And I literally had surgery 2 weeks ago, and I was over here grinding on this video, really excited about it, talking to a bunch of people, running around, yelling, as if I'm like normal. I'm not normal right now. Like, I'm worse than normal right now. Like, I'm on the steroids right now. My stress levels are really high. Like I'm tracking it on like the aura, and I'm tracking it on all the stuff, and it hasn't gone down. So like I need to remember that, and and I think I was just feeling really good yesterday because for the first time I had slept like 6.5 hours straight, and I felt like a normal person, and that I think made me like overstress myself a little bit. So I'm trying to do better today. I slept almost 7 hours again, and took my time kind of getting ready. I showered, all those things, and then after I did that, I went and rested again. I tried to rest, but the rest is not picking up. My mind is still active, which is why I'm doing things like this, so it can at least calm my mind down. um, and I'm gonna try and take my time. I'm gonna try and just like let things happen. Right? Try and let things happen, and try and accept things for how they are. Like if this is a result of me not responding well, I gave it a good shot. you know but I'm also trying to give the faith that maybe it's just a blip. So we'll see. Like, worst case scenario again, I have made such a big stride that I didn't think um I would make so fast, right? Like, this wasn't even in my radar. Like, I literally just came up with this idea 2 days ago. Like, maybe I should just get a cane. And like, life changing, man. Um, so my one RP friend is actually coming over tomorrow, and he said he'll bring another cane and kind of also, walk me through it as well. Um, and so I'm excited about that. Uh, yeah, so I have a lot of things on my mind. I'm excited about the video I'm working on. I think it will be a good one. I'm really proud of it myself. And yeah, and also like I don't know. I'm having fun working on things like this, and like I think I have a lot of things that I would like to just build, and like that's I'm like working on setting up the workflow so that I can continue doing it even without like full usable vision. Like, the fact that I'm still doing all these things is like giving me a lot of motivation, because I'm an ambitious guy, right? Like, one of the things I want to do this year is I want to apply to all of the top like MBA programs. I'm talking Stanford, Harvard, all of those things, and like like that's ambition, and I need the confidence to know that not only can I apply for it, not only can I apply for it, but I can get in and do something with it, because there are things I want to do in life. There are things I want to achieve in life, and I don't know. I'm no longer in the state where I'm like, I'll wait for somebody else to do it. I'm just gonna go and do it, and And so that's what's helping me right now, is just setting up all of those workflows and setting up the processes in my life so I can just keep going, like getting the cane, just figuring out the network, figuring out how to ask people for help, and figuring out how to use the technologies, and figuring out how to, I guess, make a living, increase my opportunities to be lucky. So that's where I'm at. And that's my diary today. A bit of a long one again, but thank you so much for watching. Bye.